15. Touchdown! Titans! Tajay Spears!
Let's go, Matt. Here we go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey!
Welcome to the BetMGM studio and Titans football with Brian Callahan, presented by SeatGeek. I'm Mike Keith with Titans head coach Brian Callahan. Titans are preparing to head into a 3-game stretch of AFC South games starting this weekend at Indianapolis. So, Brian, what is the challenge and the opportunity of going against 3 teams that you've already faced earlier this season?
No, that's the first thing. They know us well. We know them well. They're divisional opponents. You see them twice a year. It's a really important stretch for us. You want to play well in your division. We have a chance to potentially finish with a winning record in our division. That's important to us. That's important to finish the season that way. And it's a good test for us. You know, we get 2 teams that Indy's playing pretty good football, defensively in particular right now. We get a chance to go get our revenge against the Jags down at their place, and then you get one more round with the Texans here at home to finish the season. And they're all important games. They're games that we want to win, and you want to play well in your division regardless of record and circumstance because it does very much matter.
All right, let's get into some further topics in our Callahan On segment. At your Monday press conference, you did not say who your starting quarterback will be this weekend in Indianapolis. You said you'd take a couple of days to make a decision. So after you make that decision, with practice starting tomorrow, is that something in the Wednesday media availability that you would probably announce?
Not likely. Not likely. I will keep that to myself until I absolutely have to, and that's how you'll all hear about it.
We'll all hear together.
You will all hear
at
together.
some point. So you're going to make Indianapolis guess.
That's the idea. Have to make them get ready for both.
All right, good stuff. Let's get on to another topic. How about a little Tajay Spears? Back on the scene. There he is, 92 yards from scrimmage, a couple of touchdowns. Brian Callahan was not surprised that Tajay had a good game. Why were you not surprised?
The way he's practiced the last really 3 weeks in his performance in the last 2 games, he is back to full health, full strength, and he's really put the effort and intensity and intention into playing a good brand of football right now, and it showed up in the game. I thought he was fantastic, a real bright spot for us throughout that entire game.
Nice touchdown here at the end. Bengals converted 10 of 13 third downs. That's not great. Is a lack of quarterback sacks in recent games the number one reason that opposing offenses are having more success on third down?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. It's that part last week against Joe and his ability to create an escape, and even when guys were covered initially to, as you see, making some plays on the move and off schedule. The last week against Jacksonville, you know, they did a really nice job of staying in manageable spots and high conversion percentage downs, and that to me was the difference in Jacksonville. And then this week it was just Joe Burrow being who he is, and that's a really difficult quarterback to bring down in the pocket. So got to find ways to improve that, got to affect the quarterback more, got to be better on third down.
When Luke Gifford left the game on Sunday, rookie James Williams, number 52, entered at linebacker. He finished the game with 7 tackles. Where did Williams show the most promise, and where did he show the most need for improvement?
You saw him take a minute to settle in, so that the initial game speed and everything is the first time playing actual linebacker in a regular season game for significant snaps. And so you saw that as he settled in, he started to play better and better. You see his length, his speed, his physicality, all those things started to show up as the game went on, and he was productive. He had tackles. So it was a good showing for him, a good first showing, and likely to see more of him as we go on, but happy with what he showed.
6'4", 240.
Big man.
Big man, former safety at Miami of Florida. When Titans football with Brian Callahan continues, we take a look at the play of the game provided by Tavondre Sweat. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to Titans football with Brian Callahan, presented by SeatGeek. The Titans' play of the game occurred early in the second quarter on Sunday as the Bengals had possession at the Tennessee 9-yard line, facing second down. What came next was a play that has been replayed numerous times across the country. Brian Callahan, let's go deeper on this one as we delve into Titans tape.
Well, this is first and foremost great rush. by all the guys up front. You see Jeff working an edge and finding a lane, forcing the quarterback up, Harold on the game, reversing back inside. He's the one that makes contact with Joe and starts to get him down. And what the best part is the effort that both Arden and T-Sweat are retracing for, and then T-Sweat just says, give me that. And he just takes the ball right out of Joe's hands, and then the fun begins.
Okay, so he makes Cochran miss. He breaks a tackle initially.
I mean, look at that. You got a little bit of a stutter, like at the top there. Just
He's got to put a move on.
puts a little move on. Great effort trying to get out front and block, and then
We've seen that before at Nissan Stadium.
and you know what? It's probably rival. It's a rival stiff arm. I've not seen a big man stiff arm with a ball in his hand like this, and that is fantastic effort by him, and really athletic for a guy his size. To see a guy run and move and then stiff arm like he's done it before, like he's carried the ball.
That's Kappa, who's got to be 330.
Yeah, that's a big man too.
Yeah.
That's two big people trying to run into each other. But you see the athleticism that he has. He looks like a running back.
He does that. He's going to set up his block here even.
He's looking to cut back, and then he gets a little stutter step to the sideline, but then has enough awareness to stay in bounds and keep running for another probably almost
10 yards. And he's got the ball in the outside shoulder.
We show guys every week all the time about defensive players when they have the ball in their hand, how many times that when they get a turnover that the offensive guys come and punch it out just like they do on defense. But that's Sweat taking the coaching, securing the ball, keeping it high and tight.
All right, back it up if you will, because I want to see the fellas here as he start right there. Here, let's see the guys.
Yeah, this is my favorite part of the whole clip, outside of the stiff arm. It's just the energy and the connectedness of our team on the sideline and how excited they are, for him, how excited they are for the play. It's a huge turnover early in the game. We're playing pretty well at this point. I mean, JC's jumping up and down. The offensive line's into it. You see Pete and all these guys down here. Here comes the whole defense. And then really the whole sideline ends up on top of them. They don't get to show all of it. We'll show it from the end zone.
Except one guy who kind of runs. We'll show it from this angle.
That's fair. Yes. And so as you see from this angle again, just to watch him take the ball from Burrow, rips it right out of his hands. Little move on the tackle. Big stiff arm on Kappa. And then a little stutter step to the sideline, keeping it in bounds, and then you see the rest of the sideline's reaction. There is one person here, as I saw the play coming right to me, I felt like I probably need to get out of the way. Those big man problems probably aren't for me.
That's why you're the head coach.
And I just got out of the way, let everybody else have at it. I was about to jump in there. You can see I was excited.
You were kind of excited.
And then I felt the whole sideline coming on the field and said, I better get ready to call the next play.
You're kind of low-key excited.
I was very excited. But just, I think the coolest part is just the energy, the enthusiasm, the excitement, the reaction to the play. Shows everything that we want to be about as a football team and how connected we are on Sundays and how hard these guys play for each other. That's a great example of it.
Tavondre's had a lot of big plays this year, but for him to make a play like this in Week 15, and there were questions about his conditioning coming out of Texas. We heard all of that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is a guy who has stepped up and taken the challenge of being a pro football player.
And he's gotten better every week, and his rush continues to get better. His production continues to improve, and, he looks like he's in condition here.
Woo!
Find a way to get him a couple carries maybe down on the goal line.
I was going to say put him in on the Big Jeff package.
Yeah, him and Jeff on the goal line and see if anybody wants any part of that.
I don't think that would be the case.
Yep.
But exciting to see him do that. Exciting to see the sideline be so fired up, especially the rookies.
Yes.
That's a very connected group who's given you a lot of play this year.
Yeah, they've been fantastic, and they're getting better as the weeks go by. And we're starting to get production out of a lot of those guys that are in our rookie class, and that's exciting to see.
Oh, good stuff. Tavondre Sweat, maybe with the future as a pass catcher.
He's the next dual threat. Him and Travis Hunter.
How soon? Yeah, he's the next Travis Hunter. How soon does he start lobbying to be on offense, or has it started already?
I think that'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back for him. He'll be lobbying for carries here soon.
Yeah, if he's
later.
watching this tonight, he's probably lobbying.
That's what
when Titans football with Brian Callahan continues. Two Titans legends spend an evening showing some special guests what a film breakdown like this is all about. The epic Western Genuine article is next. The BetMGM studio was home to a bunch of winners getting coached up by Coach Mack, Mr. Monday Night, and the ever-reliable one himself. We share this experience in this week's Epic Western Genuine article.
It's going to hurt just as much if you catch it or miss it.
Ridley takes a lick, you set it down.
Recently, a handful of Titans fans had the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get coached up by a former Titans player and coach with more than 30 years of experience.
13 personnel. What's in the game? Just go. Come on.
2 wide receivers.
Where'd you get to? You got run or pass. Somebody right now.
Pass.
Oh, God, I love it. All right. You can play if you can get the numbers. We'll find out that later on.
Through Verizon Access, the Titans hosted a Chalk Talk, where lucky Verizon customers got to listen to former Titans linebacker Keith Bullock, former coach Dave McGinnis, and Titans Radio's Rhett Bryan talk about all things football, including film breakdown of some of the best plays from the season.
We'll be playing this position right here. All right. That's the Mike linebacker. Mike from middle linebacker.
The quarterback knows he's going to see pressure, right? He's got 6 in his face right now, so that's what coach is talking about, feeling heat. Like, it's like that's the play he has to make. The play is there. He has to stand in there and deliver the ball as Mason does. That's perfect.
1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 receivers.
So he's looking at me like, well, you know what? She said, I really used to like Coach Mack. I don't like him now at all.
Looks like a lot of fun. The folks in attendance at that event were Verizon customers who redeemed the experience through the Verizon Access program. Any person who uses Verizon has access to these experiences and others and can redeem them through the account on the app or the website once the experience goes live on Verizon's channels. It's awarded first come, first serve. So if you're a Verizon customer, be on the lookout for your chance to be part of more Titans experiences just like this one. When Titans football with Brian Callahan continues, Amy Wells goes one-on-one with Titans left guard Peter Skoronski. Stay tuned. "28 games, 28 starts at left guard." That's Peter Skoronski's stat line since being drafted by the Tennessee Titans in April 2023. It's also safe to say that Peter's 14 starts in 2024 overall have gone better than his 14 starts last season. Peter Skoronski speaks about that and more in this week's SeatGeek Sound with our own Amy Wells.
Peter, we're getting ready to take on the Indianapolis Colts for the 2nd time this season. And that's very different than any other time when you're playing football where you see the same opponent 2 times in one season. Have you gotten used to that yet?
It's definitely a weird sensation. I feel like that doesn't really happen very much. Certainly not in college, and high school pretty unlikely too. So that's kind of part of the NFL is you get those teams twice. And thankfully we had a nice big break between the first and second time. But sometimes you can get them like twice in 3 weeks, which is always weird. But so it will kind of feel like a new game and not just playing the same game again. But it's still interesting.
It's interesting, and I wonder how that impacts your preparation because you've seen them once, but it was a few weeks ago, and the Colts looked very different then than they do now. So do you have to completely start over with a brand new game plan and brand new everything the second time?
I wouldn't say brand new. I think they still do what they do structurally in their defense, and they do it well. But they don't, they haven't changed too much per se. But they had guys out last time. They have guys back now, and a lot of different personnel out there too, which is a huge challenge for us. So it is much different, even though you do have some of the same structures overall.
But it's got to be a lot more entertaining to see a team that looks a little bit different than, to your point, seeing a team twice in 3 weeks was pretty much like a rerun.
Yeah, it's like they're not so tuned into your tendencies and what you do, and it's not kind of just like bang. It's like kind of like training camp at the end of training camp where you're just going against the same guys. But no, it is more like a new game.
Heading to Indianapolis, it's not that far from Chicago. Is there going to be a Skaronski contingent?
I think so, yeah. I think it's only about a 3-hour drive or so. So I'm sure people will be making the trip down. They're usually, last year that game had a few people, a good crowd there. So I'm sure it'll be the same way this year.
Do you like that? Do you like that you have the ability to play in front of your friends and family?
Yeah, it's fun. I think it's always fun to play for the people you love and have them see you. And it's nice to have destinations that are close that people can travel to. Even Nashville's not too far, so it's always fun to have people there supporting you. I mean, you never have too many people there rooting for you and cheering for the Titans. So
now, Indianapolis is not only the home of the Colts, but it's also the home of the NFL Scouting Combine. And I think that it's an interesting thing to talk about because a lot of guys in the NFL, their journey to this league includes the NFL Scouting Combine. You have done it, you're about what, a year and a half-ish removed from it now, so recently enough that you remember doing it. But you also have some NFL experience now. So I wanted to ask you how you feel going through the experience of the National Football League Scouting Combine in Indianapolis impacts your season. Do you feel like that is an accurate representation athletically of things that you are required to do as a player in the National Football League?
no. No, especially not at our position at O-line. Not really. I mean, there's some of the drills, I guess, are kind of maybe in terms of like the position drills, none of the 40 and stuff like that. It's all for show, in my opinion. But no, it's not really much of a representation. I think the real purpose of the combine is the medical, the interviews. A lot of the stuff that you don't see on TV is really what teams get out of the combine.
What's interesting is that since you've been here, nobody has asked you to sprint as fast as you can, 40 yards, or jump as high as you possibly can, I would presume.
No, I don't think I've done a 40-yard sprint since then, at that speed for sure, or any broad jumps like that since then. Or a 225 bench press for that many reps either since then. So
we were just going to ask him to do the 225 bench press next week here on the show.
Well, now you have an opportunity.
That's exactly right. I tell you, Peter Skaronski, he needs to calm down. He's a wild man, isn't he?
Too much energy.
Too much energy. All right, he was really excited to play for your dad, and he has clearly gotten better in year 2. Brian Callahan, where have you seen the most improvement in Peter Skaronski since you got here?
I think his pass protection has been really, especially in the last, let's say even 2 months. Like his performance in pass pro has been fantastic. His technique is better. His anchor is better. Everything about how he's protecting is so much better. Him and JC do a good job in a run game. They're physical. They can move people. I think Pete's probably playing as good as he's probably our best lineman right now in terms of performance. He's really been consistent. I think that's the key for offensive linemen is how consistent are you? And he has been consistent for weeks now. He has been the same player. And again, he's getting better every week, but his performance has maintained a certain standard that he seems to meet every week, which is great to see.
He's become that guy that everybody thought he would be coming out of Northwestern.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Thanks, Amy Wells. Time to preview Sunday's game at Indianapolis when Titans football with Brian Callahan continues, presented by SeatGeek. It's time for Callahan's First Look, presented by Nissan, headed north to play Indianapolis. Brian Callahan, you're going to see Anthony Richardson at quarterback.
Yep, he's had an up and down season passing the ball, but he is a phenomenal athlete, and he can beat you with his arm or his legs, and we're going to have to be disciplined and well prepared for our rush lanes to get him on the ground.
He's got another fast guy who plays in the backfield with him, and I'm talking about Jonathan Taylor. There's 28.
Probably one of the better backs in the league. He's been really productive when he's been healthy. He's been fantastic, and we're gonna have our hands full trying to stop those two guys in the ground game. They're both really, really good.
Explosive players both. On the defensive side of the ball, a big man. That is DeForest Buckner. He missed the October 13th game. He's played in only 9 games this year, and yet he leads the Colts in sacks.
Yeah, he's a disruptive interior rusher, probably one of the better ones in football, and he's going to make life hard for us. We have to know where he's at all the time.
Yeah, they traded for him a 13th overall pick, so he's awfully good. Only 6'7", 310 pounds. Plays the run, plays the pass.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he is. And they've got Kwity Paye and Dio Adangbo, and
It's a good defense.
Yeah, it
is a good defense.
They've got some dudes. Yeah. Titans will be in Indianapolis this Sunday. Our coverage begins at 11 a.m. Central on Titans Radio. For Brian Callahan, I'm Mike Keith. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.